There are a wide variety of views of true greatness, and defined classically, that would be a quality possessed by someone of outstanding importance. So someone may say it's being the very best, or being the hero of your own story. Someone has defined greatness as setting a goal that your former self would not have thought possible, and just trying to get a little bit better every day. But it does beg the question, what did Jesus consider true greatness? James, Peter, and John must have felt pretty good about themselves. They had been up on the mountain with Jesus when he was transfigured, and they witnessed at least a portion of his glory. And at the same time, down off the mountain, the other disciples were feeling very powerless. They were trying to deal with a demon and being very unsuccessful until Jesus showed up and put that impure spirit in its place. And this is the backdrop as the disciples were walking on the road through Galilee. Along the way, the disciples argued about who was the greatest. Arriving at the house where they were staying in Capernaum, Jesus asked them, "What were you arguing about on the road?" As if he didn't know. And they just kept silent. Deafening, embarrassing silence. Jesus sat down, gathered them around, and said, "So, you want to be in first place? Then take the last place. Be the servant of all." And then he took a little child, stood him in front of them all, and putting his arms around the child, said to the disciples, "Anyone who welcomes a child like this for my sake welcomes me. And the one who welcomes me welcomes not only me, but the one who sent me." You know, most of us want to be the best at something and to get our props. But at the center of that is a large dose of egotistical pride. We say that we're proud of being good at something, but we're really proud of being better or smarter or richer than others. It's the comparison that makes you proud. The pleasure of being above the rest, or at the very least, being above your next door neighbor. And Jesus is saying that the way of the kingdom of God is different. Our key spiritual insight. True greatness is measured by humble servanthood for others. Jesus isn't saying that we should not improve our lives in any way, but that greatness is not determined by status, but by service. By a person who willingly cares for the needs of others. And often that comes at a cost, whether it's energy, finances, or time. And what that looks like is different for each person and each situation. But maybe it's a neighbor who needs your help just as you're set to relax for the evening. Or someone is being marginalized and you extend a welcome. Another person is in emotional pain and you make time to listen. Or a family member needs your care, but it goes unappreciated. Who could ever live such a sacrificial life, you ask? One day, the mother of James and John came to Jesus to ask a favor. She asked that her son sit on the right and on the left hand of Jesus in his kingdom. And when the other 10 disciples heard about that, they were ticked off. Jesus called them all together and he told them that the rulers of the Gentiles love to show their power over people, but that it should not be that way with them. He said, "Whoever wants to be great must become a servant." Whoever wants to be first among you must be your slave. Whoever wants to be first among you must be your slave. That is what the Son of Man has done. He came not to be served, but to serve, and to give his life a ransom to set many others free. In the greatest expression of service possible, Jesus gave himself. Listen to Mark 9:30-32. They left that place and passed through Galilee. Jesus did not want anyone to know where they were, because he was teaching his disciples. He said to them, "The Son of Man is going to be betrayed into the hands of men. They will kill him, and after 3 days he will rise." But they did not understand what he meant, and were afraid to ask him about it. The Son of Man is going to be delivered into the hands of men. They will kill him, and after 3 days he will rise. On the road, while the disciples were arguing about who was the greatest, Jesus is telling them of servant greatness from his own life. He consented to become a servant and completely human. And not only that, but he carried it out to the extreme death on a cross. The two go hand in hand, greatness and sacrifice for others. Jesus told his disciples, "The student is not above the teacher, but everyone who is fully trained will be like their teacher." For us, this means that we die to our own selfish ambitions. By serving others, we amplify the greatness of Christ.